click out of that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is brackets prediction time. Both Luke and I will be filling out our brackets tonight. So we will officially get that out of the way here. Let me jump over to CBS screen. We're going to start with my bracket, and then we will preview on to Luke's here. I'll just go East region and then down. I still can't believe that we got this draw here with Duke and Siena. I mean, it's unreal. My childhood team and my first school I went to before transferring to Alabama. But nonetheless, I'm going to take the Blue Devils here. I think that this game is going to be an ass kicking. If I'm being perfectly honest,
Conflict of interest.
it's very much a conflict of interest. But Duke is my childhood team, and so they'll be the ones moving on. Plus, I think they're going to beat Siena by like 37. This game is really tough me right here. I like Ohio State's momentum down the stretch, but something inside me just tells me to take the Horned Frogs. So I'm going to roll with Fort Worth here and take TCU. Then we got St. John's in Northern Iowa. I thought about the upset here. I think that St. John's is beatable. I just don't think that Northern Iowa is the team to do it. So I'll take the Red Storm here. I love my boys from Cal Baptist. This is their first tournaments that they've made in the history of their program. I'm very happy for them, but it will last one game. Because even though I have my questions about Kansas, I like them to at least pull this one off. Now, here's my first upset. Louisville's one of those teams where, you can never really put a finger on them. And South Florida is a team that's coming into this tournament red hot. So I'm going to take the Bulls to beat to beat Louisville here. Michigan State, North Dakota State. I like the Spartans. Again, don't think they'll last very long, but they'll survive this round. This right here, Luke, I don't know about you. I think this could be one of the best games of the entire tournament.
I agree. I agree.
I think that for people who enjoyed watching this bubble race, like these are two teams that made a lot, and I mean a lot of noise. I just think that UCF is a little bit too beat up here, and I like UCLA to advance to the round of 32, and then UConn over Furman. Furman had some magic against Virginia a couple years ago. UConn's coming off of that loss to St. John's. I think that they'll pull it off. Florida and the winner of Prairie View, A&M, and Lehigh. Thank the good Lord that Duke doesn't have to play Lehigh in the first rounds. I don't think it matters who match up against that Florida team coming off the Vandy loss. I personally think Florida is going to be playing with a vengeance here. Then Clemson and Iowa. This one's a toughie for me. I think I'm going to take Clemson. I might regret it. Something about my gut tells me Iowa, but I'm going to stick with Clemson here. Vanderbilt and McNeese. This is one, Luke. I don't know about you. I think this could go either way.
Yeah, this is a very interesting matchup between two teams that have a very have conflicting styles.
They do have very conflicting styles and philosophies and how they approach the game. I think Vanderbilt's going to squeak it out. I thought about picking the upset. I think Vanderbilt squeaks it out. Then Nebraska and Troy. I'm going to roll with the beautiful state of Alabama, and I'm going to take the Troy Trojans to beat a very flaky Nebraska team.
That's the first game of the NCAA tournament as well, so a lot of upset potential there.
Starting off with an upset, could you imagine?
It'd be awesome. It'd be a great sign for things to come.
That would be electric. Illinois and Penn. Oh wait, I already forgot one. Oh, another upset pick. I'm taking VCU, the red hot VCU Rams, who have won 21 of the last 24. I'm taking them over a Caleb Wilson-less North Carolina. Illinois and Penn. I always love those Ivy League teams and the NCAA tournament. We saw what Yale did to Auburn a few years ago. But I'm going to go with the Illini here. St. Mary's and A&M. I don't like the way that A&M's ended the season. I like the momentum right now, so I'm going to go with the Gales. And then Houston over Idaho, of course. I'm sorry to the Vandals. I do like the Vandals, the Taters, but I'll take Houston here. Then we got Iowa State and Tennessee State. Iowa State's a team I'm very high on. I'm going with them to the second round. Here's another upset. I'm taking Santa Clara over Kentucky. I don't know about you, Luke, but that's one that really pops off the page to me.
That's gonna be a great game. I have that game on one of the games on my do not bet this game under any circumstance list.
Yeah, that is absolutely a do not touch, just look game. Absolutely. Then we got Virginia and Wright State. I like the Hoos here, and I also like the Vols over the winner of Miami of Ohio and Seton Hall. Right?
SMU.
SMU. I messed that up. My bad. I don't know why I thought it was Seton Hall.
All
Bama
good,
and
all good,
Hofstra-
brother.
Yeah,
They're either of them are both they're pretty much the same team. They're just the opposite on offense and defense. So yeah, no harm, no foul.
and either one would lose to Tennessee in the first round too. I really
Yeah,
think.
you're bowing them out early, anyways.
And Bama and Hofstra. I know Bama's got their Aiden Holloway issues here. I'll be addressing here soon, but I like Alabama to survive and advance out of the round of 32. As do I. Texas Tech. Even though I do like this Akron Zips team, I thought about the upset, especially Tech without Toppin, but it is a tough team, so I think that they advance to the second rounds. I'm taking St. Louis over Georgia. I've liked the St. Louis team for a while. I think that they could really mess some shit up here, so give me the Billikens and then give me the Wolverines to destroy whoever wins that first 4 game. Purdue and Queens University. I love the Queens University story, but I am taking the Boilermakers. This one here, this is another one, another really coin flip game that I really don't know which way to go. But I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna go with the Canes. I'm curious to see where you go with that, Luke.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts about both those teams that you'll find out. You'll find out soon enough. Stay tuned.
I'm very curious to see this. I'm taking Gonzaga over Kennesaw State over the Owls.
My boy Antoine Petway, Bama represent at
Hell yeah.
Kennesaw State.
I'd love to see them get the upset just for that reason, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I do like BYU to survive 1 round. I don't think that they're a team that goes very far, but I like them to survive 1 round. I like Arkansas to beat Hawaii in this first round. Now this one right here. This is my favorite game in the entire round of 64 right here. Wisconsin and High Point. 2 really high-scoring teams.
I believe that's the second game of the tournament that starts, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's a Thursday tip-off at like 12:15 East Central.
What a way to start the tournament.
Seriously.
2 electrifying games. And as high as I am in Wisconsin, I've been rolling with High Point for a while here. So I'm going to go with them.
Hey, the Panthers.
I'm rolling with the Panthers. I'm rolling with Nova here to move on past Utah State. And then I'm sorry, but the Sharks are going down. The Sharks are getting harpooned in the first round by Arizona.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sharks all the way.
Are you actually going to pick them over Arizona?
You'll have to find out.
I'm on the edge of my seat about this now. I'm not going to lie. Next round, we'll start back in the East. I'm taking Duke over TCU. I think Duke will win that by double digits. I like St. John's to beat Kansas. Kansas has looked really wonky down the stretch. I don't know what it is when Darren Peterson's on the floor. They just don't look the same.
Yeah.
This one's tough. I went back and forth on South Florida and Michigan State, but I'm gonna go with Sparty here. And then I like UConn to take out UCLA. UConn's got their flaws. I feel like they will get exposed at some point, but not by the Bruins. Florida and Clemson, kind of like your Duke TCU game. I think this one will be a double-digit win for the Gators. And then I like for them to get their rematch with Vanderbilt. from the SEC semifinals and potentially get their revenge. That would be fascinating.
Indeed, that'd be a great game.
And then here's my little Cinderella 2.0 running it back once again. VCU beating Illinois in the second rounds and making some real noise.
I like it. I'm warning you. I picked VCU to do that last year, and it was a disaster in the first round. So, but hey, I'm always a fan of a VCU run.
They feel hotter to me at this time of year than they did last year. So I think they're going to make a run. And then here, I hate to pick against the Gales, but I have to. I'm going with Houston here. I hate this draw for Santa Clara. I wish they didn't have Iowa State in the second round. I wish they had Virginia. I picked them over Virginia. But Iowa State, I think that they're a team that's going to get into this tournament and get very hot. They just barely lost to Arizona in that Big 12 semi, and I think that's really going to push them.
I'm completely. I mean, look, that Santa Clara team. I really enjoy their tournament run in the Big West or the West Coast Conference. To me, it's going to be interesting to see that Iowa State matchup is just it's so unfortunate. That's going to be an absolute slugfest.
Yeah, that'll be a very physical, competitive game, and I can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little border rivalry going on here. There's a couple of these. The fact that you got Tennessee, Virginia, Georgia, Alabama, all in the same region. It's insane.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know there's definitely a lot of science behind this one this year. It was fascinating to see how this played out. I'm going to take the Hoos here. I just don't think that Tennessee's consistent. I think that they have trouble holding on to leads in these games, and if they get up on Virginia, quite honestly, I'm just afraid they won't be able to hold on. Then we've got our beloved Tide up against Texas Tech. I think Alabama lives to see one more round. I'm taking them over the Red Raiders. I think even without Aiden Holloway, that's your focal point in JT Toppin that Texas Tech just doesn't have. I think Alabama has a little bit of an edge. And then I like Michigan to beat the Billikens of St. Louis. And I would love to have seen St. Louis advance beyond that. But again, terrible draw. Just like Santa Clara drawing Iowa State. Just sometimes it just sucks. Purdue over
Agreed.
Miami. I like Gonzaga to end BYU's run pretty abruptly here. And then, I trust Arkansas. I think High Point Magic ends in the second rounds.
Do you like Nova?
No. I like Villanova a lot, but I also really like Jaden Bradley and what they're cooking here in Arizona right now.
I'm interested to see where this goes from here because I like a lot of these matchups that you have picked out, and I think this would make for a great second weekend.
Oh my God, Duke and St. John's that Thursday is going to go very hard, and obviously I'm going to go with the Blue Devils to advance beyond them. I think that St. John's has their limits as a team, especially when it comes to scoring. I think that Duke will out-rebound them at times, too. I think that Duke will just play a more thorough game of basketball. Michigan State and UConn, I think that Michigan State is very reliant on Jeremiah Fears, and you'll reach that point in the tournament where if you're over-reliant on one player, you get exposed. And they're going to get exposed by Dan Hurley's Huskies, who want to play Duke in the Elite Eight. Wow, that's an insane matchup.
That's going to be that would be a fire Saturday night.
And then this right here, Florida and Vandy. Oh my God,
great game.
I think Florida gets the revenge. You're not going to beat Florida twice.
And a 20-point win in the SEC tournament, that's got to mean something for the Gators.
Especially after the streak they're on, like that's just embarrassing. Like that's one that you got to avenge. I think they have all the conviction in the world to do so. And as much as I love VCU and the potential for a repeat of their run back in 2011, I think Houston puts an end to it. I think they're going to be a little too physical and slow VCU down.
Interesting. I like it.
Then here, I like Iowa State to take out Virginia. I just think that Iowa State is going to be a destined team for a little while. And then you've got Michigan and Alabama here, and I'm fucking tired of losing to Michigan, but we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, Michigan is not has not been our most favorable matchup as Alabama fans recently in any sport.
I hate it. It's pissing me off because I just want to beat them in something.
We
And then
we'll never admit inferiority though.
not well, historically and everything. We're just not basketball, but football. We are better historically.
Yeah.
But we'll always have that. Gonzaga, Purdue. You and I have our thoughts about Purdue. I know they're riding high off of the Big Ten tournament victory, which I can't. I still can't fathom that happens, but nonetheless, it did. But I think that Gonzaga, the thing with Gonzaga is they just have to get out of the first weekend, get a little bit healthier, like we were talking about in our show a few weeks ago. And I think they start to become a little bit more high power, getting some personnel back. And I think they escape this game against Purdue and get back to the Elite Eight. And then Arizona and Arkansas. Oh, what's that? I mean, cut you off.
And I just want to put a little side note on Gonzaga is that the expected return date for Braden Huff would be in that Sweet 16 matchup, which would be a huge boost to them, more not only on the basketball court but in morale wise as well.
They're a team where like it could this momentum could really hit the right time.
Agreed.
And then Arizona, Arkansas. I'm going to take Arizona here. I think they're just a more complete team than Arkansas. I really love Acuff, love Billy Richmond, but I think that Arizona's just got too many weapons, and they'll pull it off. Then we got the Elite Eight here, Saturday and Sunday. This is a riveting set right here. 1 against 2, 1 against 3. I'm taking Duke to go to the Final Four. No surprises there from Mr. Gregory.
I expected it.
I think most people did. Florida and Houston. I think Florida gets that victory again. Florida is a team that's just going to get red hot after losing to Vanderbilt. Oh, these two on the right side here, Arizona, Gonzaga, and then Michigan, Iowa State. Man, you know what? I'm going to take Iowa State.
Wow, the Cyclones.
I'm going to take Iowa State to go to the Final Four. I think if they shock the world, well, not really. They're a 2 seed, but I think a lot of people would expect Michigan to win that game, and I think Iowa State is one of those teams that just game by game, they're going to get more and more confidence in themselves.
I love I love what they're cooking. I've been loving what they're cooking. I'm glad that they kind of got their shit together in the Big 12 tournament.
No, I like it. They kind of fell off a little bit, but they've got it cooking once again here. And then Arizona, Gonzaga. This one's I really want to put Gonzaga in the Final Four, just because I think they're another Iowa State, but I'm going to play it safe here and go with Arizona.
Now, what a Final Four we have here.
You know what? I think I put Arizona in the Final Four last year, and they fucked me over.
The Zags.
I'm going Gonzaga.
Wow. Tommy Lloyd losing to his old school?
Yep, I did it.
Wow.
I really didn't want to be too chalky. I'm going with the Zags. And then I think you get Duke and Iowa State in the national championship, and Duke pulls it off.
If that is the national championship, we're gonna have to talk about the total points in that game being like 118.
Oh yeah, but wait, that would be an absolutely riveting game.
So I'll say a few things that I've really noticed about your bracket here is one, I think that VCU run that's really what you're putting your eggs in the basket. Is that this VCU team, they've got a good draw. You're feeling good about how they're playing coming into the tournament, and you like them to not only take out North Carolina, who has been struggling, but also continue their run on and really make a splash. I mean, sorry, I can't see that. Is that Illinois? You have them
Yeah.
beating the Illini, which I think that would be a really interesting result in the first weekend. Obviously, you like those. You still like those one seeds. You like Florida to bounce back. You're really high on Florida still. That Vandy loss hasn't deterred you. It hasn't scared you or anything. You trust what
No,
Todd Golden's got going on there, and
absolutely.
I think you did. I think this bracket would be make for some great basketball. I will say, I was not expecting you to take Gonzaga over Arizona, but I understand the rationale behind it. And Iowa State in the national championship game. That's a really interesting pick there. The Cyclones, I like. I feel like you're riding on these teams that you feel are playing the best basketball right now. So
But
I'm all
it's
here for
also
it.
like you never know what like we just saw it with these tournaments. Like we saw teams you'd never expect to just catch fire. And it's like I don't want to gamble too much and say that UCLA is going to go to the Final Four because I think that could be a little irrational making that pick. But there's like Gonzaga is absolutely that one team. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about going to the Final Four, and it's such a game by game tournament, and especially when you talk about returning health, Huff coming back, them just becoming healthier down the stretch, and I think they've got some favorable draws, like getting the winner of Texas, and I can't see the other one.
It's Texas and Miami, Ohio. Oh
No,
wait, no. It's Texas and NC State.
I like you know
Yeah,
I
hey, I'm curious to see who you like in your. I'm curious,
I think Kennesaw State was a great draw. I think BYU was a great draw for the round of 32. Um,
just real quickly. I'm curious to see who you like in the first four games, the Power Five ones.
um, I do like Miami of Ohio to win. Um, I think Texas is just a little bit deeper than NC State. I like them to win. Um, and then we got Lehigh and Prairie View A&M, right?
Yeah,
Um, I like Lehigh. They've just had some magic up their sleeve recently, and then UMBC and Howard.
yep.
UMBC's plane is stuck in Maryland right now.
Is it
Um,
really?
I think they're gonna get there on time. Be fucking juiced. Give me the Retrievers.
I'm telling you right now, I'll spoil one of my first four picks. I really like that UMBC team, and I quite honestly, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if that UMBC team hangs around with Michigan for a half. I really wouldn't. I watched a ton of them. They make their free throws and they play good defense. I wouldn't be surprised if that UMBC team makes it a little bit of a slugfest early on.
I it wouldn't surprise me either. They're just one of those teams where you never really know what they're capable of. We saw what they did to Virginia years ago.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. There's my bracket.
The
Let's
Duke
switch
Blue
on.
Devils.
Yeah, I mean I've been high on Duke for a while. I know that they don't have Foster right now, and that absolutely is a downer. But I still think that they have enough right now. What they have, especially having one of the best young freshmen in the country, and Cam Boozer. Um, I just I really like the way that Duke is one of those teams that they remind me of Florida last year in the way that they always find ways to win.
And I'll tell you right now, we have some similarities in our brackets, but we're going a few different directions here. And it is it's a few, I think a few of my choices may surprise you a little bit. That's all I got to say.
Well, that's what makes for an interesting selection Monday.
Hey, you know, I'm not counting out the Sharks yet.
Oh my god! Don't even think about it.
Yeah. Is that Drover? He's not happy about it either.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on out there. It's complete pandemonium. I'm gonna close my door.
He just didn't like the Sharks pick.
He expressed his discontentment.
Well, you know, this is going to be such an interesting March Madness, and I've been, I really had trouble even making a bracket. I wanted to do it on Sunday night, and I made one, and I was just completely not content with it, and so I actually just completely abandoned everything in my bracket and decided, you know what, I'm going to step away and I'm going to come back to it today. And I have two brackets currently. The one that I'm going to be doing on here is what I think is going to happen, and I also have one to that I play. It's a way to game a system in a way because some brackets groups have some stakes in them, and some of the picks you're going to see in here might not be the most financially wise decisions.
That's you know what? That's fair. At the end of the day, it's all about the
I
bread, and you can't
I mean I make two
you can't
brackets
throw
every year.
cards out there.
I make two brackets every year, and that's it. Just two brackets every year. Nothing gets me more upset than when my bracket is busted on the first go, and then I hear somebody say, "My 23rd bracket is still perfect," and I'm like, and I sit there and I'm like, well, ESPN gave you that leeway, so you might as well take it.
Yeah,
But
you gotta just take all of the rope that you've been given. I mean, as we were talking about before the show started, I've had every little bit of technological difficulties I could possibly muster up with this computer today, and um, we now finally have Luke's bracket on here. I even see it's a little blurry for my liking on YouTube too, which is kind of pissing me off. But we'll figure that out here at some point.
alrighty, let's jump right into this. No funny business. Duke over Siena. No funny business there. Now, this is one of the games that I really struggled with. This is one of the first ones I really struggled with. Ohio State and TCU. I have just joined the Dallas community, and I am going to make them angry right off the bat. Give me Ohio State, give me Bruce Thornton, and give me John Mobley and Amari Bynum, and I expect Ohio State to get it done over TCU in a squeaker. St. John's in Northern Iowa. I love Northern Iowa's defense. I think they're gonna, like you said earlier, that they could potentially cause a lot of problems for this St. John's team. And I just don't trust the Big East, but I'm gonna roll with the Johnnies still. I think they're gonna get it done. I don't see Patino getting beat in round one. Moving down, give me Kansas. No funny business. Cal Baptist, you're here because of a missed dunk to go to OT. Um, no funny business
That
there.
was
It was so ridiculous. Utah Valley. That's called karma for leaving your conference.
I was watching
But
that game at a Stan's Blue Note in Dallas, and I was freaking flabbergasted.
that's one of the most absurd ways I've seen a team lose a game, and that says a lot because this is March. But yeah, moving along. I am also going to take the South Florida Bulls, and maybe some foreshadowing here. This might not be the last time I pick the South Florida Bulls. I love what they have going. They have Brian Hodgson, former Nate Oates assistant, as head coach, and they have a lot of talent on this roster that knows how to get up and down, plays good defense, and they can win games in a variety of different ways. Louisville has been struggling recently shooting the ball. I don't want to get burned by them. Here we go. Michigan State, no funny business here. North Dakota State, I love the Bison, man. They beat Oklahoma in a long time ago in a tournament. Not this time though. Sparty, this is Izzo's month. Let's see here. We got UCLA and UCF. I know you mentioned that UCF's a little banged up, which is true. UCLA is a little banged up as well. They have Donovan Dent and Tyler Bilodeau that both had a few injuries in the Big Ten tournament. I'm sure they'll play. Give me the Golden Knights of the UCF.
Okay, that's it. That this game, instead, I paused on. I think it's gonna be one of the best games of the first round. So I was going
It,
back and forth on it a lot too.
it really is, and UCF is just a team that I love the Cincinnati Bearcats, and they knocked them out. So I'm riding with UCF here. It takes a lot to knock out those Cincinnati Bearcats. Let me tell you
It
that.
it does.
Yeah, no funny business down here though. UConn. I love me some Furman, but not against this UConn team. Furman will be lucky to get to 50. Now let's go down to the South region, and I think that this region has potential to be maybe the best region in the whole tournament because I think that there's just so many games here that are going to be tight. Maybe not the most exciting in terms of lower seeds winning, but I think in terms of just good basketball, I think this is good hoops here. Give me Florida, and I do like Lehigh to win that game, that first four game as well. Moving along, okay. So we had opposite feelings on this game because my gut was telling me to take Iowa, um, and I'm going to go with Clemson here. Um, and I just think that Clemson a little bit more experienced, and I think that Iowa's so dependent on Bennett Sturts. I could see Bennett Sturts going for 40 in game one, and knocking him out. But I do like how Clemson played in the ACC tournament, so I'll take Clemson. Um, moving right along, we have Vanderbilt versus McNeese. McNeese loves to turn people over. Vanderbilt rarely turns the ball over. Give me the Doors. I like how they've been playing recently as well. Then we have do what?
They've gotten hot. Vandy's gotten really hot.
Yeah, I know they had a little bit dip in the midseason. Duke Miles was out. Since Duke Miles has returned, he's been just as dynamic as ever. I really like that Vanderbilt team, what they got going on. Now, Troy and Nebraska. Now, my original bracket, my original gut was like take Troy here. Nebraska has never won a tournament game in school history, and if this team doesn't do it, I'll never pick them again. But I like Nebraska to get this one done against Troy. I really do like this Trojans team, but I just think that Nebraska is gonna they're playing for a little bit more here. Then we have North Carolina and VCU. Like VCU burned the hell out of me here last year, and I'm really disappointed in them. And I know North Carolina, they're injured and whatnot, but when I was thinking of this game, the one thing that kept coming back to my mind was Seth Trimble and Henry Vasar, and I love Djokovic for VCU, but I don't think he can play with Henry Vasar, and I'm going to take North Carolina here. I know Dennis Dixon, he can shoot the ball. I'm not huge on Bogovac. I'm not huge on Hubert Davis. I do think they get one win here in the tournament. Then we move to Illinois and Penn. TJ Power with a nice little 44 piece to get Penn here. But man, oh man, they are not going to win this game. They are going to get smothered by Illinois. And go ahead and put Houston in there for me. Houston's not losing this game. I mean, come on, the Cougars. They like I said, they might be lucky to score 50 points on them. I mean, come on. Like what is that game? Is that the Texas and Miami, Ohio game, or is that Miami, Ohio and
no, that's A&M and St. Mary's.
Oh, A&M. Oh yeah, give me the Gales. A&M's like you mentioned. A&M has been struggling recently, and I think that St. Mary's is just so systematically sound that system is going to overplay Texas A&M. And I'm sorry because Bucky McMillan, Mountain Brook High School, shout out. I love the guy, but Texas A&M's just been playing rough this year, or I guess, yeah, this year, 2026, really, honestly. Where are we moving over to now? Are we going to the West bracket, or are we going to go to the Midwest?
We'll start down at the Midwest.
Midwest, okay. All right.
No fucking around here, right?
No, Iowa State. That's an easy W, bro. Iowa State, and then this is Kentucky and Santa Clara, and I am with you 1,000% on these Santa Clara Broncos. I believe it's their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1998 or something like that. They're not going to let this go to waste. Kentucky, we both have our feelings on Kentucky. We both think they're iffy. I wouldn't be surprised to see Oweh just torch us here, but I like Santa Clara. Now, moving along, we have. Is this Virginia or no? Yeah, this is Virginia.
Wright State.
Virginia and Wright State. Now, let me tell you what. This is one of my darlings of the tournament, actually. The Wright State, whatever their mascot is, I forget. It's kind of it's been a long couple of days, but I think they're like the Vikings or something. No, that's Cleveland State, but
I think they're the Wolves.
The Wright State Wolves sounds about right. We're going with Wright State here though. Here's the reason why. Wright State has a very quick and fast-paced offense, and they also play pretty solid defense for a team out of the Horizon League. They have decent size, and I think Virginia is one of those teams that I still will not buy into them. I know they played Duke close in the ACC championship, heartbreaking loss. I love Chance Mallory, great player. Thomas, great. Tyster Ritter, obviously great. I just this just feels like a spot where Wright State pulls off the unthinkable here, and I'm just going to tell you right now, this might not be the last time you hear from Wright State. Moving on, Tennessee against the winner of Miami, Ohio, and SMU. I will make the Dallas faithful happy here. I think that SMU will get it done. They have Edwards coming back. I think that they're like 5-6 without him or something. He provides a lot of offensive boost for them. I'm taking SMU to not only beat Miami, Ohio, but to beat Tennessee as well.
A lot of
Now, if
faith.
my do what?
It's a lot of faith in the Stangs, I must say.
It is, and if I do, I will say this though: if Miami, Ohio wins, I will be taking Tennessee.
Fair. No, it is very much predicated on that matchup. I'm with you there as well.
So yeah, that's my whole thought process behind it. Bama, Hofstra. Gosh, that Aiden Holloway news really sucks. Not enough. Cruz Davis, you're auditioning to be at Alabama next year. I love Embiid too. That point guard. They knocked out my Towson Tigers though. I'm not happy with them. Bama beat them by 40.
Damn.
Tyler Tejada does not. Tyler Tejada takes no prisoners. Moving along now, Akron, Texas Tech. No JT Toppin for Texas Tech. Love what Christian Anderson does. Give me Akron, man. I feel like Akron is a team that should have gotten in as an at large. I know their resume wasn't great. This is a really talented team, and I love the system John Gross has. This will be his last year at Akron. He will 1,000% be coaching at a power school next year. Moving along, Georgia, St. Louis. Give me the dogs. Dogs. Woo, 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 woo. I love their pace. St. Louis has been kind of slumping recently. I think they were 4-4 in their last 8. That Dayton game was crazy. If you lose to Anthony Grant, you're automatically on my hit list. So yeah, give me the dogs here. Moving along to where are we at? Is Michigan? I'm taking UMBC here. I've already said that I'm taking UMBC here, but I'm taking Michigan to win the game.
I was gonna say no way.
I know. I should have phrased that a little bit better. I think I shocked a lot of people here.
I almost clicked it.
We wouldn't have been able to go back either. But we just had to roll with the Cinderella story, UMBC Cinderella story again.
Second time.
The C in UMBC stands for Cinderella. It's University of Maryland, Baltimore Cinderella.
Wow, there's history lesson number 1 for the day today.
Well, that's Luke history at least. That's I wrote it myself. But moving along to Purdue and Queens. Yeah, give me Purdue. Not high on them. Whatever. They can beat Queens. They should beat Queens. They don't. They're just Purdue. This is a game that you said you were interested to hear where my take is on it.
Yeah.
I really do like this Miami team. They've actually shocked me a lot. Obviously, we both had them. I think we both had them losing in the ACC tournament to Louisville, right?
I believe so.
I keep doubting them. They have Trey Donaldson. He's a senior guard. True Washington, Uday. I think this Missouri team is sneaky good, and I really think that they're one of those teams. That their resume doesn't really show the type of basketball that they've been playing recently. Mark Mitchell is a senior. He can do it all. I mean, he's not been as great defensively this year because he's had to do so much on the offensive end. Tamar Bates. Gosh, I'm blanking on their point guard's name. But he oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He dropped 30 against Tennessee. Anyways, moving on. I like Missouri to win this game.
Okay. All right. So you went opposite me. I almost picked Missouri. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, I'm not like super confident in them. I like this Miami team too. They've done a lot. I like Jay Lucas. I think he runs a pretty good ship there. And I could see this game going either way. I'm not super confident on Missouri, but I like them. I like them for now. And I'm going against what I said about the SEC, which is fade the SEC. We'll get into a little bit more of that later, though. Well, here we go. Kennesaw State and Gonzaga. Gonzaga, just give me Gonzaga. I love this Kennesaw State team. They're too small. Graham Ike is going to eat them alive.
Definitely see that.
Texas and NC State. I like Texas to win this game just as well as you do. and I like them to also beat BYU. I think that there's a lot to be said for this BYU team. I don't think they're very good, and I think that one thing we saw in conference tournaments that's going to really carry over is the fact that the team that gets to play a game before is already in rhythm and hot. And I think that Texas has the talent where if they win that game, I think, and I will say, if NC State wins, I think BYU wins. So that's where I'm. It's very, like you said, predicated on matchups.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Arkansas over Hawaii. Rip Big Fish, best nickname in college basketball, in my opinion. But Big Fish is not going. He's going to be eaten for dinner by the Hogs tonight. Wisconsin and High Point. I'm taking the Badgers here as well. I really want to pick High Point, but I just think that Wisconsin's very. They just have a lot of ways they can beat you as well, and I think that they have a lot of guys that can create their own shot. I was very impressed with them against Michigan. Let's see here. Villanova and Utah State. Nope, Nova all the way. I cannot stand this Utah State team. I can't. I'm so mad that they're that they're the Mountain West representative this year. I usually love the Mountain West. This year, no.
And Colorado State last year was just great.
Yeah, Neat Clifford, man. I had Neat Clifford. I don't like anybody on this Utah State team. MJ Collins, you're a fraud, bro. Sorry, I didn't even go personal there. Oh my! And this is the one where what a coincidence that this game is the last one of round one that I have to pick.
I did that intentionally.
Here come the Fins, man. Are the Fins going to be up? No, give me Zona. But it was a good story.
Fins up.
It's the best. It's the best in college basketball. It really is. Now what we have Duke and Ohio State. It's something. There's something to be said for how Bruce Thornton has played against top seeded teams, top ranked teams this year. Duke is too much for Ohio State. Give me the Blue Devils. And moving on, we have St. John's and Kansas. Like you said, inconsistencies with Kansas. Give me St. John's. We don't love them, but they kind of drew their way into the Sweet 16, in my opinion. Now moving on, South Florida and Sparty. And this is a game I really want to touch on because I think that Sparty is so one-dimensional at times. Like you mentioned, Jeremiah Fears, I don't like their outside shooting. I don't think that they can shoot outside. And I don't think their defense is good enough to carry them against this South Florida team. Give me South Florida and get to go to the Sweet 16. They're my little Cinderella here.
Bully ball.
Yeah, I gotta love it, man. They're playing in Buffalo. Oh, one thing we said, they're playing in Buffalo as well. And Brian Hodgson's dad has dementia and has never seen him be able to coach live in person. So that's another storyline that I have going for South Florida.
Oh,
what
that's
story
really
it would
cool.
be?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, what a story that would be. Then we have UCF versus Connecticut. This is a game I've gone back and forth on so many times. And ultimately, my mind settled on Connecticut to get to win in a squeaker.
I think whoever is that second round game, I mean, I feel like UConn UCLA or UConn UCF will like either one. I think it's gonna be a very competitive game.
I agree. I think that's gonna be one of the better games of the second round. All right, so now we're moving on to Florida and who is that? Clemson, Florida. Don't even have to say anything else. Florida all the way. Vandy and Nebraska. Vandy is too much for Nebraska, too offensively talented. Nebraska struggles at times. North Carolina and Illinois. Give me the Illini. Obviously, the injuries are going to hurt here. I think that's going to be a pretty solid game, though. But I like Keaton Wagler too much. And they just got Kylan Boswell back. So I'm excited about this Illinois team. They could be going far. I'll foreshadow that. Houston and the winner, or Houston and St. Mary's. Houston is just better at what St. Mary's does. So give me Houston.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be
physical teams playing each other.
That's going to be a slop fest.
Yeah, that one's gonna be like 61-56.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a game where even if you win it, you're gonna feel it the next day.
But they're lucky to have 3 days of rest after this.
They are very lucky, very lucky. Let's see here. This is Iowa State and Santa Clara. Yeah, I think your analysis on this game was perfect. I feel bad for Santa Clara getting drawn with this. I really wish I could take them farther. Give me Iowa State. Now we
Man, these
have
double seeded. I love these double seeds going up against each other in the second round. They're always a slop fest.
I know Wright State is going to win this game and continue to the Sweet 16.
Oh my God, Wright State keeps dancing.
Wright State is the storyline you have to look out for. And are they done yet? That's the question. Is Wright State going all the way? That's the question.
If you
That's
pick them
that's
for Iowa State, I swear to God.
this is when people start asking: Is Wright State the team of destiny? Are they one of the best Cinderellas that we've ever seen?
Demon
Um,
0.0.
yeah, seriously, I mean, they're definitely great. But Alabama and Akron, I'll take Alabama here. I love the Zips, but Alabama just too quick. They're going to have the best player on the floor in most games that they play, and give me LeBaron and Philon even without Holloway. I'm not calling Biz anymore. It sucks. Biz was more than a nickname, I guess. Um, we'll take Michigan. We'll take Michigan over the Dogs. Not really any analysis here. Just Michigan's just better than them. I mean,
Yeah.
Georgia's. I could see a game where maybe if Georgia shoots 50% from three, like makes 18 threes, I can see them maybe winning, but I just don't see it. Moving up, this is good hoops here. This bracket is all good hoops, and we're just gonna start with Missouri and Purdue. And I'm not fooled by the Big Ten tournament. I've been fooled by the Big Ten tournament so many times. I was fooled. I had Iowa winning it all one year because of the damn Big Ten tournament, and I'm gonna take Missouri to beat Purdue.
Who, who, by the way, I hate Richmond with a passion because of that spider they have at half court.
Is this why? Is just you just it's just unesthetically pleasing?
I'm terrified of spiders. So the fact that they have that thing at half court is despicable, and the fact that you
Yeah.
have in your school the Richmond Spiders is just it's just beyond me.
Do you like Spider Man?
Nope, I hate them.
All right, interesting. That you learn something new every day on
Anything
here.
to do with an organism that has 8 legs, nah, I'm out.
What about an octopus?
You know, caviar is okay. You know, like when you fry. No, not caviar. Shit.
Calamari.
Calamari. You fry that shit. That can be good. Outside of that, no. I mean, it inks. Like, yeah, give me a fucking break. It's disgusting.
Okay, well, no. So you learn something new on here every day. No eight-legged organisms.
Nope.
I know what to get you for your birthday now.
Oh, no, the hell you do.
All righty. Moving along to Gonzaga versus who is that? The winner of the game? Winner of is that Texas?
Yeah, it's Texas. It's Gonzaga in Texas.
Give me Gonzaga. I don't really have much analysis here. I still think that EK is just going to dominate. Now, moving right along, I think has potential to be maybe the best game of the tournament in terms of just pure offense and pure speed.
Yeah.
Arkansas and Wisconsin. Arkansas's depth worries me here, but I'm rolling with Acuff. I mean, the guy should be the number one pick. He's the best player in college basketball.
I
Like
completely agree.
hands down, he's the best player in college basketball. And then no surprise here. I don't think Nova's very good. I just think they got a good matchup against Utah State. So give me Arizona.
You want to talk great draw? That's the best draw anybody could. I mean, if it was Villanova and TCU, I would be taking TCU.
Yeah, same. I mean, Villanova, just about anybody. Like I said, I hate you, Utah State. I don't know why I just flipped.
They stuck.
All right, well, we're gonna have to wing it here. All right, let's go.
Duke
Now,
and St. John's. Wait, what
Duke.
happened? Oh, you fell.
Yeah, I fell.
You back. I see you now.
Duke and St. John's. This game was going to be an absolute slugfest. This one's going to be a bunch of. And you want to know the one thing that I think is going to win Duke this game? Free throws. Free throw shooting. Duke makes their free throws. St. John's doesn't make their free throws. It won't be enough, and they won't be able to turn Duke over enough to beat them. So give me the Blue Devils. Now, here we go. Here's my Cinderella down here. South Florida and UConn, an old American Athletic Conference matchup that we used to see all the time. And I'm rolling with South Florida over Connecticut. I think
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're in the Big East at the same time too, right?
Maybe, yeah, they were at the Big East at the same time. Maybe the old Big East, and then they both went to the American, and then UConn went back to the Big East.
That was man, those were the days. Yeah, did South Florida and Rutgers back in '07 football, but go on with this UConn South Florida game. So I want to hear why you picked the Bulls.
Those really were the days. Those matchups were great, especially even in basketball. But yeah, I'm picking the Bulls here because UConn, and there's another team like this that I'm going to pick against pretty soon, and I have the same rationale behind it. UConn really has a lot of games where they just struggle so much offensively, and they get so one dimensional. The ball sticks. They're not great from outside. I love Braylon Mullins. I think Caravan is good. I don't think he's as great as we thought he was going to be this year. And so for me, South Florida, Graves is an NBA point guard. Like I said, they have the ability to match up with UConn physically, and they have the age behind it. And everybody knows that old point guards on these teams, they tend to do well and tend to fare well in the tournament. So for me, South Florida is my big Cinderella. I have them going to the Elite Eight.
Man, but my Dukies playing the Bulls. They South Florida just likes to scare the shit out of me with everything. They scared me with Alabama earlier this year. They've done it twice with Alabama football, and now you're gonna have this matchup, which I know will terrify me.
Let's just say I didn't want to have Duke in the Final Four, but the draw worked out for them with the way that my bracket moved out. Let's see here. Florida and Vandy. I stand right there with you, and I think Florida gets their revenge. I think there's not much analysis needed here. I think you laid it out pretty perfectly. And then here we have Illinois and is that
Houston,
Illinois and
H-Town.
Houston? Yeah. And here's my thoughts on Houston all year. If you score 70 points, you have a good chance of beating them. I think Illinois beats Houston. I have Illinois matching up with Florida in the Elite Eight.
Rationale.
I just think guard. I love guard play in the NCAA tournament, and Illinois has great guards. So, and they also have both the Aviciches. I'm going to need a few guys on Illinois to step up if I want this bracket to fare well. But I think that there's enough. There's a lot to be said about these teams that they might get kind of overlooked on because of how they fared in their conference tournament. And the Big Ten tournament is always just chaotic as hell, and so that's why I'm picking Illinois here. Moving right along, and that is Iowa State versus Wright State. Now you wanted me to pick Iowa State here, and I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna listen to you here. I'm gonna take Iowa State. The Wright State Cinderella run would be awesome, but it's a Cinderella enough that they're in the Sweet 16 playing Iowa State. Iowa State's defense is just gonna bother their guards, and so I'm gonna take Iowa State. Michigan and Bama. Oh, Bama. Oh, Bama, Bama, Bama. I'm going to have to take Michigan here.
I
I'm
would
not
say
giving.
that's a pretty that's a I think that's a double digit loss too for Alabama, and I hate to say it, but I think it is.
I'm not going to give Michigan any more credit, and I'm not going to take anything away from Alabama. So just please move up to the top half of the bracket.
Fair. I know. I hate seeing it. I really do.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't look at that anymore. Here we have Missouri versus Gonzaga. And I actually think that this Missouri team matches up really well against Gonzaga in terms from a physicality standpoint. But if Gonzaga does make it here and they get Braden Huff back, they'll be too much. Give me Gonzaga.
I'm curious to see how far you have Gonzaga going after I had them in the Final Four.
Yeah, well, I'm taking Arizona up here. I wish I could take Arkansas. I do think this Arizona Arkansas game will be very good. I just think Arkansas's depth concerns me, and Arizona's going to play. If there's one team that can play physical on a guard, it's Arizona. So we do have that similar matchup with the Arizona Gonzaga. I don't think we're quite similar on Duke and South Florida, but we do get to the same result ultimately. I think the Blue Devils in the magic of the Bulls, and they go to the Final Four. What would that be, like the 28th Final Four in program history or something?
Yeah, which is an absolute indicator of dominance.
It is. Yeah, this Duke program definitely up there. I'm not gonna say they're the best because we you know how I feel about Duke, but moving right along to Illinois and Florida. Now I referenced something with UConn that really scare me, and that was their outside shots and their guard play. And I feel the same way about Florida. I think Illinois beats Florida and goes to the Final Four. I just think that ultimately Haug, and Chinyalu can only take you so far, and eventually the holes with Fland and Xavier Lee are going to show.
Wow. Okay. I'll be honest. That one came out of left field. I was not expecting that, but I loved your rationale for it. So you know what? I fuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like going to be my surprise bracket. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm having Michigan here. Um, I just think that Iowa State's going to be bothered by Michigan's size down low,
That's
and
fair.
as much as I'm worried about the Kaysen injury, I still think Michigan's a great team without him, and I think that Purdue game was more of a fluke than anything, just a slow start and maybe a little bit of shock factor after that Wisconsin buzzer beater. Moving up to the Arizona game in Gonzaga, I've got Arizona. I just think that Gonzaga is too offensively challenged at times, and Arizona has the size to slow down Ike. Between both Krivas and Koa Pete. I think both of those guys can guard Ike, and then there's going to be too much pressure on the Gonzaga guards. I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. But yeah, this would be an interesting Final Four. First with Duke and Illinois. I think that this is a matchup that really stands out to me because Duke, while they're so efficient on offense and they really play great defense, I'm actually going to take Illinois here to go to the national championship over the Blue Devils. I think this is where the Blue Devils run comes in. I know you're not going to be happy about that, but yeah, I like Illinois to go to the national championship. That's my surprise team. You had Iowa State. I'm taking Illinois.
That's fair.
I like where this Illinois team. I just like Key. I mean, I love Wagler, and I just think that Illinois is just an experienced team. I mean, they're the Serbian national team with a McDonald's All American at point guard. So give me Illinois. And then here with Arizona, Michigan, this game's going to be great, but I'm going to take Arizona here. The case and injury is a big reason why Arizona's better at what Michigan does, and they're going to slow Michigan down. I think that they're going to kind of grind them out like Duke did to them, Michigan in Washington D.C. I think that that's how Arizona wins this game. And then in this national championship game, Illinois and Arizona, two teams that I've picked very far in brackets before that have both lost in the first or second round multiple times and really screwed me over. So I think this might be like my once every 5 year reminder that I shouldn't be picking these teams. Um, but give me Arizona to win the national championship. I just think they're the best team in college basketball. I think they're the most complete team, and I think that their health, which I was concerned about for a while with Koa Pete, is really peaking at the right time. Give me the Arizona Wildcats. I just don't see a team beating them, and I'll say final score prediction in this game: Arizona 78, Illinois 69. So, give me Arizona. I have the Wildcats winning the national
I
championship.
forgot to make my score pick too for Duke and Iowa State. I would have Duke 78, Iowa State 71.
Duke 30, Iowa State 28.
I mean, yeah, it's let me. Well, I will say so. A couple takeaways here. Obviously, a lot of faith in Wright State.
Right
Okay,
State, the
I was
boys.
expecting that. I briefly thought of picking them over Virginia, but then just my conscience washed over me, and I was like, let's stick with the Who's. But that is one that if that happens, I won't be exactly surprised.
Yeah. Hey, well, I have a ton of faith in Wright State. Um, there, I don't really think I have too many like upset picks in the first round, but the teams that I do have, I have going pretty far.
No, and I mean you obviously vest a lot in those teams. I always I sometimes get a little cute with the upsets because just because there's always a couple every year. It's hard to really predict them, but there's just a couple matchups that I really like for the lower seeds. Like
Yeah.
I like the matchup of Troy over Nebraska. I love VCU in North Carolina. I love Santa Clara and Kentucky. Like there's just a couple here that really just pop off the page to me of these are going to happen. I briefly thought about picking Akron over Texas Tech too, but I just Texas Tech has had times like you can see when they face certain opposition, them hurting, not having Toppin. I mean, you've seen it come out a couple times now. You saw in the Big 12 tournament. I don't feel like Akron's gonna be one of those games. I have a lot of respect for Akron, what they've done this year, but I feel like they'll survive and advance there and play Alabama. But again, if you told me on Friday that Akron beat Texas Tech, wouldn't be the least bit surprised. And then, I mean, you've got a lot of faith here in Illinois. It's crazy. You have them in the national championship. I have them getting bounced in the second round. That might be
I know.
crazy.
A lot of parity.
But it's all what you think of VCU though, and it's all draw. I may have too much confidence in VCU. You may have too much confidence in Wright State. We're gonna find out. But at the end of the day, you've always got to have some Cinderella going somewhere. And Illinois to me is where like there's a lot of things I like about that team. I like the Avicevich brothers. No, I like you said, it's like a European national team. You got McDonald's All-American at point guard. It's a really good basketball team.
Hey, I think my theory on why you want Illinois bounced out so early is because you don't like saying Eastern European names.
Hey, I'm getting pretty damn tired of it.
Like and that's pretty much every player on their team. You're gonna be kicking. You're like Illinois better lose. They better lose.
I swear, if that's the team that goes and beats Duke, I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to hear. You're gonna have to hear Grant Hill calling their names.
Yeah, hearing him on the struggle bus just like I am. Missouri going to the Sweet 16, South Florida going to the Elite Eight. Those were two that I didn't see on the bingo card for you either.
Yeah. South Florida is a real like. I have a lot of faith in them. I said I watched a lot of the American Conference all year, and I felt like it was one of the most competitive. And I knew whatever team came out of the American was going to be really competitive with anybody they played. And I think that this is a great draw for South Florida. Missouri, I just have a lot of faith in Dennis Gates, and Missouri's a very well prepared team, and I think that they got a pretty good draw for themselves as well. I don't have any faith in Purdue, so and Purdue is going to Purdue. They're due to Purdue, so and they're Purdue. They are Purdue. So
now that I will say the South Florida Michigan State one that is another one I went back and forth on just because I feel this we have a similar feeling Michigan State, just very one dimensional. I think they'd be a little bit too much for South Florida and that game, but I could eat my words there too.
Yeah, I mean, look, and this is what I think is going to happen. Obviously, in my bracket where I try to game it, it looks a little bit different than this, but it's still pretty similar in terms of what I have in terms of Final Four and stuff like that. So this is what I really think will happen. Really, like this is if there's no stakes involved, this is what I'm picking.
That's fair, and I really like a lot of these picks. Like I like your explanations, your rationale behind a lot of them. Like I think that a lot of it makes sense. I'll be honest. I don't know if you have one that's like eating you alive, but that Arizona Gonzaga one, I have a hunch with Gonzaga, but that one's gonna eat me alive with Arizona.
Yeah, I think that the one that's really that could come back to bite me is the St. John's and Duke game. Just because of the physicality factor of St. John's, but I think, or either that or UConn, and because here's what I had if South Florida and UConn were switched, I would have UConn beating Duke.
So then you'd have them in the Final Four instead of the Sweet 16, which is
a
huge difference. Losing this fucking South Florida.
Yeah. It's I just felt that Duke. I just feel like South. That's one of those games that UConn just doesn't get up to play, and that UConn struggled against bad team, like worse teams than them this year. So,
totally. I'm a fucking Marquette.
Yeah, like and Creighton, like they've lost. They've lost a lot of games like that, and so I think that they get up to play for Duke. But I'm not. South Florida, I think would cause them some problems early on, and I think that they might be able to build up a lead and get hot shooting the ball. So,
and that's it. They've got a very quick pace of play too. That I think that I think it could almost be like like those cartoons where you see the dog tie the owner up in the leash. Like like what South Florida does to UConn in that game.
Yeah, agreed.
I will say, as a Duke guy, that St. John's game, if that happens, I already know that's one that's going to take years off my life, just because of how physical and gritty it's going to be. Like it's going to be a damn 66-61 game. I already know. I already know what that's going to do to my heart.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be a sweat for sure.
All right, so Luke has Arizona. I've got the prestigious Duke University winning it all. No surprises there. I still can't believe I'm watching them match up against Siena, and this is the first time in my life that both colleges that I attended are in the tournament at the same time, Alabama and Siena.
Yeah, that's a crazy time for you.
The first time in my I never thought that day would actually come.
Well, and now they're playing Duke.
Yeah, and then to what's crazy is during the live stream, and I know that you were driving during it yesterday, but during the live stream yesterday, that was the first pick that came out. That was the first game that got released, was Duke against Siena, and I just I couldn't believe it. I was mind blown by the fact that actually happened.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll now that I'm in Dallas, we might have some in-person content coming.
Oh, it is very much coming. It's in the works. Um, we've got some. We definitely have some content plans coming down the line here. We've got a comment over here. Let me put up. I didn't get to those, because I couldn't see it while I was doing the bracket. Quite honestly, doing the screen share, trying to get up on the screen here. Here we go. Slam Tana 502. Duke versus Iowa State. This is a direct at mind. UL will throttle Florida. Who's UL?
I mean, it would have. He has to be thinking of Illinois, right? No.
UL.
Is he thinking of
Holy shit.
Louisville? Is he thinking of Louisville? Maybe Louisville in South Florida.
Maybe.
I mean,
Louisville's the
UL
Louisville's
is
not making
Louisville.
round.
UL is Louisville. So
Yeah, he's thinking Louisville, South Florida. Yeah. I can't get on that one. I think that's a clear first round upset. If Wisconsin gets by High Point and plays Arkansas, I think that Wisconsin can beat them. I think that they're capable.
yeah, agreed.
Missouri and Miami was a toss up to me. If you told me that Missouri beats Miami, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. But yeah, I know that Duke and Iowa State is kind of a crazy championship, but then again, not really. It's a 1 seed and a 2 seed. If you've been watching Iowa State all along, you know that this is a team that can absolutely make it all the way.
Yeah,
there would be no surprise. But I appreciate you coming on, Luke. Let me know what y'all think about your predictions in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and Thursday is right around the corner.